Hello, everyone. Hello. How's it going? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, Star Tribe? Giz requested a booster seat tonight so he can block my access to the chat even more. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Melanie. Hello, Socks. Hey, Diggy. Hi, Screamstress. Hello, Alicia. Hello, Arctum. Hello, Jennifer. Who else we got in here? Hi, Rose. Hi, Dee. Hi, Sai. Hi, Electa. Hi, June. If I missed you, welcome in. Welcome in. We're so grateful that you're here tonight. Okay, quickly before we get started, I'd like to go over my haul, and I hope that I do this correctly. Jennifer, the madam is here, and you're right, she is loud, and she knocked a bunch of stuff off of my table to get my attention and messed up my receipts here. So I hope that I'm right about this, because I had separated all of these gift tags. Thank you. Hi, Motivational Force. Hi, TA. Hi, Susan. Thank you all so much for all the love that you have shown me this season. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It took a lot of guts for me to leave everything and move to a place that I felt safe to live my truth and live my authenticity and be on this spiritual path that I'm supposed to be on. And so you pouring love into me, showing up through this channel, all of these beautiful, beautiful decks you've been blessing me with all month, I can't thank you enough. You are my soul family. Hi, Dusty. And thank you for all of your support. Olga, we haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Divine Touch. Olga must be doing some holiday stuff. But Olga, hot off the press. This is just came out. She ordered it about a month before it came out, and I got it today. This is a beautiful, beautiful voodoo Orisha tarot. She sent me everything New Orleans. She sent, thank you, Olga. She sent me the cutest card. She said, I loved your energy in New Orleans. And also this Mind Info deck. We have all these cool new decks, y'all. Stephen, thank you for this Sacred Forest deck. I believe it was Nick. Nick, thank you for this Wild Mystic deck. And Alicia, and I think you're here tonight, Alicia. Alicia, thank you. Alicia sent me this hoodoo deck for root workers. I'm very excited about this. I'm going to have to do a little bit of studying on this. You know, voodoo, it has a lot of Catholic roots to it. So there's a lot of spirits, like there's a lot of saints. And there were a few things I didn't recognize in this deck, but I'm really excited to study it. That's what I'm going to do on my holiday break. And Sky Witch says thank you to Amanda. Amanda, thank you for sending Sky Witch some snackety snacks. Thank you all so much, though. Thank you. I'm not going to cry. Man. You all made my tree. Thank you. Okay. So the band kind of gave me keep an eye on the Vatican. I'm actually pretty proud of the Pope right now. The think he's speaking some sanity. Jennifer, the mumbo is loud. She's loud. It's going to be interesting. We're kind of like in a student-teacher relationship, so the boundaries feel a little different. Oh, okay. Sorry, y'all. I got distracted. Thinking about the Vatican. All right. So the band was like downloading to me that they wanted to talk a little bit about going into 2025. Like completely like abolishing the shadow of the healer. Okay. So many of you on this channel are healers, and there's a shadow side to being a healer. We know that, right? When empathy can go too far, and some beliefs that have been handed down to us through doctrine about the self-flagellation, flogging of the healer, okay? In some places we might overstretch. That was the download they gave me when they told me to schedule this live. Let's see where it goes with the cards. Yeah, Jennifer, you did told me, and no joke. And I was like rushing around trying to get ready, get everything ready in here. And I was like, you gotta wait. And she knocked all this stuff off my table, all those little card notes that I had separated with the decks. I was like, okay, I'll pay attention. I like her though. She's a mambo. She's definitely a Queen of Wands energy. Yes, she's very persistent. Hi, Rhonda. Hello. Hey, Ice Wolf, what's happening? Good to see you. When I have my head down, and so in the 3D world that I'm not paying attention, what we've come to realize is then they go over to Jennifer's to get my attention and bug Jennifer until I pay attention. Like she's not listening to us. Al, hello, Al. Welcome in. Oh, Dark Star, I was referring to his speech a while back about how there's many paths to God. Okay, so we're going to jump into this Wild Mystic Oracle deck. I like this Oracle deck because this is a very shadow and light deck. The band gave me the thumbs up to use this tonight. We cleared it and blessed it. So let's see what the band has to say about the shadow aspect of the healer. Okay. Looking at heal in the upright. Okay, I like this. I like this because what they're saying is that as a healer, the most important healing that we're going to do is to self. Okay, first and foremost. All right. There's a lot of self-sacrificial energy in doctrine of putting the self last. But really we show up the best when we put ourselves first. Okay? It may seem like we have less energy to give to people, but the energy that we do give is very potent, okay, when we're healed. And they're showing me the confidence card in reverse and the trust card in reverse, okay? Many of us get downloads that we question, that we don't trust. And there's something in the shadow around that. And a lot of what's in the shadow around that are beliefs. Okay. They're talking about like labels, right? And diagnosis. What is real and what is not real. Okay. There are many gifted people in the world that don't know that they're gifted because they've been given forms of diagnoses and labels to make their spiritual gifts actually look like a handicap. So that, oh God, you're going to get me. You're going to get me. All right. They want me to get heretic hermit a little bit here. Heretic hermit, excuse me. So if you look at what they're telling me is they're telling me of examples of like early mental institutions, okay, in Western culture. Okay, we're talking like they're showing me all these pages. It's like 1900s, like 1920s, 1930s, and that most of the reports were people that claimed that they could speak to God. There were many reports of people that were claiming they could speak to God and they could speak to spirits and they could speak to past over loved ones and being institutionalized for that. Okay. That's a form of power and control, a form of colonization, right? As the Catholic Church moved into Western culture and so much of the world, not just Western culture. But they're showing me specifically these documents from mental institutions in the United States, right? It was the priest. Everything had to come through the priest. Okay. You couldn't interpret sacred text. Okay. You couldn't have direct downloads. You couldn't have a direct relationship with God. There was a hierarchy. There were people that were in a hierarchy. And we know that this is all forms of power and control. Okay. So there were labels that were created for people that had gifts. They had gifts of communication that were outside of language. And those are ancestral wounds. Those are ancestral wounds that will be handed down to us. And what the band is saying is trust all of your downloads. Because if you're not trusting your downloads, it does put confidence in the reverse. We question. How many times do we say to ourselves, oh, I can't tell someone that download I got. They'll think I'm crazy. I even say it here on this YouTube channel. Every time I do a reading for Jimmy Graybeard, I'm like, oh, here we go. The crazy hermit. But this is what they're telling me to say to Jimmy. Okay. Yeah, Jimmy, it's always you and Dusty's readings that a lot of times I wrestle with the mind. I wrestle with the ego. I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that. And this is still happening. This is still happening like in modern non-denominational religion, even uh for lack of a better term, cults of spirituality, right? There's only a certain way to get to that space. There's only a certain way to get downloads. There's only a certain way to tap in. I'm going to sell you my system on how to connect to spirit. It's all bullshit. Are there some good tools and some great knowledge out there? Absolutely. Modern and ancient. Don't mistake what I'm saying. But when we have that inner knowing, which comes from healing the emotional space, the physical space, right? Getting back to the soul. No matter how your downloads come in, trust them. Yeah, plenty of paths to get to the source. Plenty of paths to get to the source. Pluto, what scares the shit out of you? I think I know what you're going to answer. And I think that it scares the shit out of you because it's an ancestral wound. We all have them, for sure. choose the most difficult path too. The harder the path, the greater the lesson. The deeper the lesson. Listen, Pluto, you're on the fast track to High Priestess Empress status is what's going on when you pick the hard path. Okay, you gotta look at it that way. Well, you have that scorpionic energy, Scorpios in. People with Scorpio in their chart tend to have hard heads, but it's all good. What are they showing me? Let's see what they're showing me. A lot of pink. A lot of pink flowers is what they're showing me. Okay. What else do we need to talk about in the shadow of the healer? Protect, consume. So I just got a download from the band. I just recorded a message that was like, they wanted to look at the portals of 2025, okay? And there's portals around creating refuge because there's just some major downloads around the healing arts in different forms that are going to be coming in for much of the star tribe, okay? And what they're showing me here with this consume, okay, the vulture and the protect card. What they're talking to me about here is that, oh, I'm so sorry, Giz. I'm so sorry. You good? You good? I almost knocked over his booster seat. Is that Star Child, more and more every day, your energy is like a moth to a flame, okay? And it's really important that as the healer, we protect our energy. And I mean in like a biblical sense of like the concept of guarding your heart. I don't mean that we have to be on defense of all this negative energy, but understand that as you go through your growth, as you continue to get these upgrades, as we all do, and the vibration gets higher, everyone wants to consume your energy. Everyone is going to want to consume your energy. Who wouldn't want to be in your energy? You are a powerful healer. And so, but the concept of a healer has been like misconstrued in martyrism, right? That we are supposed to give. No. Even as a healer, we freely give anyways. But if there isn't any level of equal give and take in our lives, that flame goes out. And it's important that our flames don't go out. So our personal healing journey stays at the center of it all. Whatever healing modalities that we work in, we need to work on self first and foremost. Like, so for instance, right, like a famous, like people always say they don't do their profession in their private life. Like a chef never cooks for themselves. A healer needs to heal themselves. There needs to be ritual. There needs to be time. First and foremost, that's given to self. The amount of energy that we burn up is it's immeasurable. In so many ways, it's immeasurable. But as we keep rolling into this new year and into this age of Aquarius, you are going to notice that everybody is going to want to consume your energy. Even every stranger that you walk by on the street, which is also why it's so important for us to be connected to spirit, to know when it's time to give that energy and when it's time to hold it back for self. That's really, really critical. And there's so much, there's so many teachings around that. That's not the door of the healer, that the healer comes last. Pluto Princess, I am so happy that you are in love with self. I did a private reading and today, and the talisman of the person I did the reading for the upcoming year is the word romance, and not in the sense of how we typically feel romance, or I shouldn't say we feel romance, but we idolize romance, like in an intimate partner relationship. When I asked her what it meant, she said, "This year I'm going to fall in love with me and with my life." And I thought that was so cool. And she got a talisman for that. She got this specific necklace that represented that to her. And I thought that was super cool. So I love that for you, Pluto Princess. That's important. There's a dark shadow aspect to people that have energy that wants to be so highly consumed, because it's typically related to the empath. And the shadow aspect of that, we know, is gross levels of self-sacrifice, codependency, and then it leads to other shadow aspects of addiction, aspects of complete disassociation from self, from the body, from the mind. When we need to disassociate from our body and our mind, there's something going on. We're severely burnt out. And Jennifer, she's so loud. I'm going to have to figure this out with her, Jennifer, because she's not talking about this message. And she's over talking my ancestor right now. We're going to have to work on this relationship. I like her though. She's spicy. Sorry, y'all. I have a new guide here that I'm learning to work with at the moment. Okay, let me pull a couple more cards. The opening of the throat chakra with communication. The death card in reverse. And power in the reverse. In order for our power, for us to stay in our power, okay, for it not to be in the reverse, which would be the shadow aspect, and to avoid dark nights of the soul and push ourselves to the point of death, to the point of burnout. It is so important that we honor our throat chakra and communicate our wants and needs in all circumstances. That's another shadow aspect of the light worker. Is that in many ways we're supposed to be meek. No. The word submission comes up a lot in a lot of ancient texts and can be very misconstrued. It's important that we work with our throat chakra and that we always communicate our wants and our needs. Our yeses have to be yes and our nos have to be no. at all times. And spirit will honor that. Your spirit guides will honor that. Your higher self honors that. If you feel any confliction with that, whenever we feel confliction with that, that is not from spirit. That is not from our higher self. There's some kind of belief in the shadow that we're supposed to push and push and push beyond measure for others. Another shadow aspect of this is people pleasing. Hey, Clive, what's happening? See what else I gotta say here from this Wild Mystic deck. Balance, defend. There's that scorpionic energy. And grow. In order to stay balanced, there are times that we are going to have to defend ourselves, and that is part of the growth. There's a false belief in the light worker that we're not supposed to defend ourselves, that we're supposed to allow our boundaries to be crossed. No, that's definitely not from spirit, right? Definitely not from spirit. Everyone is going to want to consume your energy, Star Child. If there is even a little glimpse, little aspect that it doesn't resonate with you, you're being asked to walk away. Even if you're unsure. Is that coming from your intuition? Is that coming from your shadow? Are you just really being triggered? Is this something from your past? Because you do so much introspection and you're continually working on the pattern of growth. So, of course, before we look at anyone else's words or action, we look at our own. And if there's anything that's conflicting in the energy, walk away. Walk away. The empath gets trampled when they don't defend themselves when they need to, when they don't speak up when they need to. They get trampled. Yeah, that's right, Screenstress. I love that. That's a good saying. That's right. I came to be a player, not a savior. I am not your savior. I am not your savior. And there are many people in this world that are looking for a savior. Now, that's different than wanting help, right? It's completely different than wanting help. There are times that we need help. But that's very different energy when somebody's looking for a savior, baby. That's right. Clive, I just recently read a study that the whole thing that we're supposed to sleep 8 hours is kind of like BS to a degree. Like, as far as like biorhythms, like people can have very high functioning brains sleeping at like 5 hours, 3-5 hours, like you're talking about. I have weird sleep patterns and I just roll with it and it works for me. It doesn't cloud my creativity. Okay, work in reverse. You know, they say faith without works is dead, and that's true, right? It's true that we can have these downloads, we can have these beliefs, and we can talk about manifesting things, but there is will that goes behind it. But the shadow aspect of that in the healer is the healer will work themselves to death. The bee in the upright, the worker bee, is strategic with their time, resources, and energy. But in the reverse, they become lethargic. Can't seem to get out of their own way because of burnout. Why would any healer put themselves to a point of burnout? Well, a few reasons. One, we think we have something to prove. I know there was a time in my life where I felt I had something to prove. And I did exactly that. I burned myself out for 20 years. I worked myself to the ground, to the detriment of my health, mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, all of it. And it's false. There's something in the identity. If we're overworking, if we're overreaching, if we're overextending, there's some fragment missing from the identity, is what they're saying. We're identifying with our works, not with who we are. We're making titles and labels our identity. Clive, are you loving life? Because that's what matters at the end of the day. Yeah, putting everyone before ourselves, Melanie. That tends to be a nurtured habit, right? That's something that is passed down to us. I watched my mother do that. I watched my mother do that to her own, literally to her own demise. Jennifer, I can't remember the last time I saw a winter snow bed. It's been a while. Yeah, overthinking too. That's part of, absolutely, Jennifer, that's part of that lethargic state, right? The analysis paralysis. That's always a red flag for me. That's one I still wrestle with. What else do you want to tell us, Spirit? Ah, the shadow of the healer, the busybody. With stillness in reverse. Yeah, deep in the works. Ooh, I like that. What they're saying about this stillness in reverse card is, and this is this is Aquarius energy. Okay. Aquarius energy is creativity, right? Aquarius is the creative mind. But if we're working off of our lower chakras, if we're working in that root and sacral energy, but we're keeping it in a constant strain of busyness, it's really hard to get down to that creative energy, right? And that creative energy creates that fire inside of us, and it makes our gifts come alive. Now, the world wants us to be busy, right? How we organize things, our lists, our days, everything is so full all the time. And stillness doesn't mean that necessarily you need to that any of us need to sit still and meditate. That doesn't work for a lot of people. That doesn't always work for a lot of our, as we like to say, neurospices, okay? But there's other ways to create stillness from the world and somatic release, even through movement of the body, but not something that the world would label as productive. And that's so opposite in so many ways of what we're taught, okay? And you're sacred is what they're saying. You're sacred. Your body's sacred, your mind is sacred, your spirit is sacred. All of it is sacred. And there are people that won't understand your space, and there's people that won't understand our boundaries, but it doesn't matter. They don't need to. And they're not going to be the ones you're going to expend your healing energy on anyways. You know? And collaboration. Collaboration will keep us out of that space of burnout. Many of us also have beliefs that like it can only get accomplished through self. We're the only ones that can accomplish it. I still struggle with that a lot. But we talk about all the time about how as we raise our vibration, it will raise the vibration of the people around us. It will help us call in those partnerships. It'll help us call in those soul tribes. It'll call in those people that match our energy. And so when people match our energy, that's the time to collaborate. I spent many years trying to collaborate with people that did not match my energy. And it would become more frustrating. It literally was just easier for me to do it. But I didn't understand what was happening there in the energy exchange. And then when we start piling everything on ourselves, we get into a space of burnout. You're going to get such strong downloads around your healing modalities that the work is going to look so differently than how we've been taught the work is supposed to go. It's going to accomplish so much more. The idea of healing our physical bodies and healing the physical bodies of others and raising the vibration of the earth is way more, quote unquote, important and productive work than what the world considers to be productive work. It's going to look totally differently. Yeah, you're right, Dark Star. I do believe that they know that if we're frustrated, we will stay out of the work. Well, it keeps us out of that creative space too, that creative energy. I know, Jimmy. It's night and day. It's night and day. I left the cult. I like getting to the bottom of things too, Clive. I spend a lot of time in forms of meditative contemplation. Oh, a nice cozy room with a fireplace. That sounds like a sacred space, Jennifer. I like that. I forgot to tell Ghost here that I was still here. That's why we haven't heard any of the ringing. Tell me more. We're going to do one more. They said do one more from this Wild Mystic deck, and then we're gonna break into the Orishas. So that the Mambo will get her turn to talk. The secrets. Ooh, the secrets of the Raven. Ooh, look, he looked mad. I'd be mad too if someone burned a cross on my forehead like that. You can stop flogging yourself now. It's safe. courage. Oh, Princess, I sing that song a lot on this channel. That's funny. I sing that song a lot on this channel. There's a secret to your courage. I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna pull out some tarot. We're gonna get a little deeper into this. The Raven and the Lion. The Lock and Key. You have the key to the lock. What's this secret about, man? Okay. The secret is that you get to rest. With the Four of Pentacles in reverse and the Five of Swords in reverse, you can let down your defenses and you can rest. Because you have the secret. And the secret is your band. So let them keep thinking you have a mental illness. They don't know that you really have all the power. Talk to me about this courage. You have the secrets to manifestation. Yeah. Oh, I love this. Clarifying courage is the Tower and the Ace of Cups. There we go. There's spirit. There's all your spiritual gifts. Okay. It will create towers for other people because they don't know what this really means. They don't have the courage to be in authenticity. And it's hard. It's hard in this world to be in authenticity and to rely on gifts and senses outside of written language and verbal communication. Because everything in doctrine has told us not to in the modern world and pieces of the ancient world also. This stuff has been it was so deeply ingrained in our ancestors. Our ancestors have these secrets though, and they're hanging out with you. Okay. And they want you to rest in that, to be able to put down these defenses to the world, because you have these gifts of manifestation that other people just don't get. They don't understand. They don't want to understand. It makes them glitch. They don't like the glitch of the matrix. We do. Oh, that's a very dark image that they're showing me. They're showing me a very bloody encampment of teepees. Those that hold the secrets that can overthrow power and control of the world. All right, let's take into the Orishas. Oh, thank you. I'm wanting to break out this deck. This Mamba won't stop talking. She wants me to go to these voodoo decks. All right, let's dive into this New Orleans. This is the New Orleans Oracle. Keep them guessing. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? We're not gatekeepers. We will freely share, but yeah, it just turns everything upside down. It turns everything on its head. If we go back to the beginning, before everything was revised by kings and priests. This tribe gets this card all the time. All the time. We have never used this deck before. And every time we've used the Witching Hour deck, we get this card of let loose. Let loose. Because it's the age of Aquarius. It is our time, Star Tribe. It is our time. Every day is Mardi Gras in the Star Tribe. We're fabulous with our feathered headdresses. I love that. Flow, because we're in flow. You can let loose when you're in flow, right? We know when to use the will to manifest, and we know when not to force our will to expend all this energy that we don't need to expend because it's so precious. And that is one of the ways that the world wants to consume your energy. Flow and adventure. I'm telling you, we're going to go on an adventure of a lifetime in 2025. Those are big time downloads that I was getting on the stuff I was recording today. I love this. I love this. I love this. Okay. Let's dive into this. The Mambo Queen is happy right now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 18, 8, 8. We have 888 on the table. And 1010. All right. What else do you want to talk to us about this Let Loose card? While they're showing me this beautiful picture, I feel like this is tied to that adventure card. Ooh, look at those ancient temples. Look at that. Cool. I like it. Okay. Let loose. My birthday falls on Mardi Gras this year. My birthday is always around Mardi Gras, but my birthday actually falls on Mardi Gras this year. 10 of Pentacles. Imagine that. Let loose and go with the flow on your journey to the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Coins looks like labor and toil to the world. They're saying there are many that believe that they've mastered the matrix, that they've made it to the 10 of Pentacles, but they're not really living. So is it true abundance? The Mambo, there she is. I can't show you that card. It'll get yanked off of YouTube. The life-giving waters of the Queen of Cups. Following our intuition to get to those 10 of Coins puts us in flow. Give me one more on this Let Loose card, please. That's too much. Oh, you wanted me to take that Magician. Sorry. All right, 3 of Wands. Four of Coins. King of Swords in reverse. And the 4 of Coins. This is those lies. This is that doctrine. This is the overgiving. This is the releasing of our coins, of our abundance, of our strength, these beliefs that we fist fight with that sit in the shadow. And what they're saying is let loose and get in your 3 of Wands energy, okay? You're magical. You're magical. Your mind space is absolute magic. What does the 10 of Pentacles look like for you? And is it actually true abundance for you? Is it filling you with joy? Abundance is comfort and joy. There's many people that have what they consider all the comforts but no joy. All right, so you're letting loose. You're getting into your magical mind space, okay? With the Queen of Cups. I can't show you her, unfortunately. These healing waters, okay? These sacred waters, this sacred space. Enjoying the journey to the 10 of Pentacles. Turning it into an adventure. The card of adventure is number 14. Tell me about this adventure. This magical adventure we're going to go on. Exploring all corners of the mind with the Devil card in reverse. The Ace of Coins. The 2 of Coins. Oh, how interesting. This is all co-creation. This is all about co-creating an adventure. This also equals the 3 of Coins with the Ace of Coins and the 2 of Coins. What they're telling me is you're going to be co-creating adventure with people in your soul tribe. You're going to be co-creating adventure with spirit. Okay, the Devil card is in reverse. There's so much shadow work that's been done at this time. There's so much that's been released. That going into 2025. Okay, so what they're saying is like, although growth is a continual experience, right? Growth is a journey that I know everyone that's in this chat right now wants to be on, okay? We're constantly looking to expand our energy. But a lot of the hard work is over. There are things that will come up in the shadow always, but they're going to come up and they're going to leave in the same light speed. It's like you got the strategy down with spirit on working through these things, okay? And that's part of the reason why you can let loose, okay? You can enjoy your shadow. You can enjoy your shadow. And use shadow to get into flow state, right? There's a lot of fire in that energy. We're going to go to flow state next. That is card number 28, 10. Being in flow, 10. Seems like when I'm on these lives with you all a lot, they show me images of kids in schools, which I find interesting. Well, because so many of us were told to sit down, be quiet, stop asking questions. Flow. Tell me about this flow state. The 5 of Coins in reverse. Woo! I love that. 6 of Cups in reverse. Man, 5 of Swords in reverse. Brand new mindset. Brand new mindset, okay? And celebrate yourself, Star Child. Because it took a lot of work. And there was a lot of opposing energy as you were doing this work to get into this mind state of being out of the past, out of what you don't agree with, within the nature and nurture, being able to put down your defenses and let loose, and to not be in this lack mind state. Because the fives are about change. These fives are supposed to be temporary in tarot, but a lot of people live in the fives for a long time. They live in that lack mindset, that poverty mindset, that feeling left out in the cold. Okay? But you're not going there anymore. This is in the mind. The fives are in the mind. You're not resistant to change. And you're going with the flow. What she just said to me about this devil card in reverse is that you're talking to yourself differently within the mind space. You're showing yourself the respect that you've always deserved. And when we do that, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks anymore. Change is universal law. It is, and we're taught to resist it. Continually resist it. Bank, manifest that. Manifest a mentor. Call in those teachers that you need. I love that. I love that, Arctum. Because isn't family some of the hardest spaces to be in flow state around? You tackling your demons. Look at Kizzy smiling. Yeah, the fives are a painful departure when we're doing shadow work, because it can be comfortable to stay in the fives. The world wants us to stay in the fives. Why move forward and change? Wants to keep us in that lack mindset. Wants to keep us dependent. Arctum I practiced for a long time too. And then I decided to move on. I know not everyone can do that, but first opportunity I had to, I changed my phone number and moved to the other side of the country. What are the fives? Analytical apex. The number 5 in tarot. 5 is a symbolic, is the number of change and the need for change. And if you look at the fives, like the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, of all the suits, the 5 of Wands in tarot, it's some kind of lack mindset, some kind of rivalry, some kind of uncomfortable space, but uncomfortable space that people will stay in because it's familiar to them. But fives are actually supposed to be temporary. When we see a 5 card come up in the upright in tarot, it's supposed to be a temporary state. But many of us get trapped in loops of it to become permanent due to fear of change. Final messages here. We have some final messages here, Ben. Some final messages here. Miss Laveau is your final message. The High Priestess. You are the high priest and the high priestess. This ace of coins, this ace of materials will always be available to you. Your independence and stability will always be assured as you continue to love yourself, as you continue to heal yourself, to respect yourself, and remember that everyone in the world wants to consume your energy because it's so precious. It's precious because you're the high priestess. And what they're telling me here with the chariot, Ogun, the great healer, is that you get to control the speed of the energy. How much you hold back and how much you give out. And that these aces will always be available to you. It's funny too that this is in this, the ace of coins in this deck is the doll. The true voodoo doll. A talisman of the healer. This is used for healing. And there you are. And don't forget it. Never forget it, Star Child. I'm telling you, this tribe of healers coming together is wild. Absolutely wild. We're going on an adventure this year, Star Child. I can't wait. I can't wait. They're showing me a big pile of red meat. Someone feel low on iron? Someone tired a lot? Bink, I was fortunate to have a very mystical ancestor, a grandmother who was alive when I was young, who very much encouraged my gifts because I had a lot of the same gifts that she did. And I learned how to read tarot very young. But I also stepped away from it for a decade. And my third eye was shut. And that's another story for another day. But it's in you, Bink. Just the easiest way to start, okay? Because it's another form of communication. Like a lot, I know all the literal interpretations of tarot, but I'm a visual channeler, so the artwork, my spirit, my band speaks to me through the artwork. So sometimes it's not literal interpretation, but they'll give me the message. But the best way to start is to start with a basic Rider-Waite tarot deck. The Rider-Waite tarot deck is the foundation. It's like the foundation of tarot as far as decks go. It's this deck. You've seen it if you watch tarot, okay? All of these images. But the base meanings of this deck translates into every deck because all of the suits and the numbers and the court cards and the lower arcana and the higher arcana is the same. And it's just like a deck of playing cards. It has 4 suits. And it has 1 through 10 in each suit. And has kings and queens. And also has an additional higher arcana. But I would learn that Rider Tarot deck first. There's so many videos on YouTube that will give you basic explanations of how to walk through it. And something, when I've taught people how to read tarot, something I always suggest is carry one card a day around with you. Okay, like the star card. The star card represents healing. It represents the North Star. It represents the wish. Carry this around for you, and anything in life that is happening that's surrounding around healing or that you're doing towards your wish fulfillment. Make that connection with this card. Use this card in your daily life. Like where does the definition of this card apply to your daily life, kind of thing. Don't worry about reversals when you first start. And don't overanalyze it. Have fun. Tarot is all about an exercise in intuition and trusting your deeper knowing. That is the most important thing about tarot, is trusting yourself and trusting your inner knowing. So enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Hey, thanks, Richard. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Hi, Andrew. Just seeing a couple other people that I didn't see sneaking in. Yeah, I think so many of us were gaslighted out of our intuition as children. It's very common, very, very common. So we have to learn to trust ourselves again. That's part of living in our authentic identity. That's when it starts. That definitely starts, right? I mean, culturally, children don't tend to have a voice like adults do. And, you know, depending on the belief system that you grew up with, like I said, fortunately, I had one family member that was like pro, because growing up in Sunday school and all that kind of stuff definitely wanted to strip all of that out of me. My story has to do with the church and different phases of my life, constantly gaslighting my mediumship skills, my intuition, all of that kind of stuff. And it's about trusting ourselves again. Yeah. Scorpio's right too. Anything can be a divination tool. Anything can help as an exercise in your intuition. You have to trust that what you hear is what you're seeing, and be bold enough to speak it. Like we were talking about with the throat chakra, right? And the communication. You know, Clive, I have not learned Thoth tarot, and at some point I will, I'm sure, on my tarot journey. I have never. I mean, I have a basic understanding of it, but I've never really dived into Thoth tarot. What I do like about Thoth tarot is the tree of life concept, but I have not. Yeah, we were all devil childs, aren't we? I just couldn't sit still. And I shouldn't have been sitting still. I was a child. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautifully simplistic, the root of it. Scorpio, you're right. That's a great definition. You know, Codex is what's interesting is I've always said, I've always feared numbers. I was like one of those people that went to do like a college entry exam, and they brought me into the guidance office or whatever after, and they were like, we're very confused. They're like, you have way beyond college level English skills. Like, you scored higher than we ever see on these tests in your English skills, but you scored like elementary school math. So it was like, for me to enroll in college, I had to take an insane amount of courses just to even start getting math credits, like college math credits. And I swear that was like part of a blocking of my third eye. Like I used to, like, numbers, I would see numbers and would just like immediately get confused. And I believe it was a way to stop me from seeing synchronicities. because I seem to have this connection and understanding of like sacred geometry. But for so long, I was so like told like that I had this learning disability around math and I sucked at math and all this kind of stuff. So of course I just took that on, right? Like I suck at math. So anytime I even see a number, I'd be like, I want nothing to do with it. But it was blocking me from seeing synchronicities. Yeah, indeed, I kept telling myself that for years, for many, many years. And it's amazing actually as of late how that has changed. Yeah. Oh my God, they made me take so much math. So much math. Analytic apex, that's cool. I very much vibe with Lilith energy. The equals. The equals. You know who does a lot of readings with the Thoth deck is, if you've ever seen that channel, Seldom Dreams. And he's fabulous. He's one of my favorite readers. He works all in Thoth Tarot. If you do his like premium subscription, which is uber cheap, for what the content is. I mean, he has over 100 videos. I've taken private classes with him on tarot, but he specifically speaks to the Thoth Tarot, and if you're interested in learning about anything about Golden Dawn, that's his wheelhouse. It doesn't all resonate with me. The Golden Dawn stuff, but I do like, I mean, I like Thoth Tarot though. I understand why it was created. Jimmy got you into Seldom Dreams? Yeah, he's badass. He's cool. He's cool. He's from the part of the country I'm from too, man. He's got that Salem spirit in him. He's in the Northeast, you know. He's got that deep pagan, witchy, mystic. Yeah, he's cool. He's really cool. He's one of my favorite tarot readers for sure. I've gotten private readings from him too. And his learning tools are really great. The green, is that part of the green? Can someone answer that question for Jennifer? I don't know if I have I don't think I have the right answer on that. Clive. Yeah, Crowley was a little, when I was in New Orleans, I got invited to a private event that was at Crowley's house, old house. Obviously, it's not his house anymore, but someone bought, you know, an artist bought Crowley's estate in New Orleans and has been living there for a lot of years and uses his art studio. It was wild. It was kind of wild energy because it's historical. So of course, you know, a lot of Crowley's stuff was literally still in that house. It was an interesting vibe. Interesting vibe. Well, Crowley created the Thoth Tarot. Did he say he made a mistake? I didn't know that about Crowley. Because LeVay went out tried and true. I respect him for that too. Like, I respect his conviction. There's actually a lot of things I really like about LeVay. He understood the human condition very deeply. He's written some, not that I don't agree with a lot of his views on spirituality, because there really is no spirituality in it, and it just doesn't resonate with me. But I dig someone who stands in their conviction, and that man stood in his conviction until the day he died, and he did really understand psychology and just the human experience, I feel like, and just on a level that most people aren't willing to look at or go at. Like, he was didn't hold back. Didn't hold back. He understood people. He understood the human side. Yeah, he's written some interesting stuff. Again, not that I agree with all of it, but I don't have to. It's not my truth, you know? But I respect that he stayed in his truth and his conviction to the very end. Yeah, it's all good, right? It's all good stuff. I mean, Crowley wrote a lot of, I mean, there's so much. It's about figuring out what resonates with our soul, you know? And I can even remember, there was a time I did an internship at a church, at a non-denominational Christian church. And, everybody's going to have a bend. And I greatly respected this pastor. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a very good human. But he had the same bend that a lot of the big preachers have, because they all came from the same educational institution. So many of the big preachers come from Dallas Seminary. And if you really do a breakdown on the beliefs of what they teach at Dallas Seminary, it's all around Calvinism. And I can remember sitting in class. We'd have class 2 nights a week, and they started talking about the 144 and like predestination, that it was already predestined. We don't know who's really going to be saved and who's not. And that there's 144 people that are already chosen. And I saw this vision, like there were all these big angels around me, and they were just like weeping. And I ran to the bathroom and I started violently throwing up. That means that doesn't resonate with my soul. That did not resonate with my soul in any way, shape, or form. It made me sick. It made me sick. Now, the person who was teaching me was saying it in a lot of conviction. It's what they believe, with their blinders on, because that was their institutional education. But no matter where the knowledge comes from, I don't care if it came from Crowley, if it came from a Christian pastor that I highly respect, my inner knowing my soul is going to tell me what's true and what's not true. And that will always be my gauge. That will always be my gauge. It's great to read all of it. Doesn't mean that it all resonates with us, though, I read tons of spiritual texts all the time. I have since I was a kid. We got to know what resonates with our soul. I can understand that, Pluto Princess. I went through a long I went through a long hermit mode where I got rid of all of my every mentor, everything, every human, because I needed to just sit with spirit and sit with my soul and get back to the core of my inner wisdom, and like really start to dismantle everything that I believed. Why did I believe it? And do it without any outside influences or anyone that I considered authority of any type of spiritual nature, and just really get with my own divinity to sort all that stuff out. So I understand that, like, that kind of shrinking back from the idea of wanting a mentor. Yeah, I had to get back down to the purity of it. But for me, there's just been something about this lifetime anyways. There's like some ancestral wound that, and curse that I had to break, because seems like since the beginning of my time, I've fallen into like these cultish kind of mentalities, these cultish traps. So it was time for me to break free of all of that. And I really had to like get down to the core of what I believe and know that my truth is different than other people's. My truth is probably different than everyone here tonight, certain parts of it. And that's cool. It's all good, right? There's all these paths. We're all divine. Part of the reason why I created this channel was to create a safe space where we could all talk about this stuff. And nobody needed to be right. And we could have open conversations and not feel crucified by it, So your mom tried joining the army in the 1940s. Wow. Your mom was a bold woman. Yeah, trying to change the course for the feminine energy. Oh, your mom's mom. Okay. Yeah. Trying to get away and set a new path for, the constructs of what it is to be a woman in society. Many of my ancestors became nuns because of that. Generationally, even female relatives that are still alive. Which being a nun didn't completely resonate with their soul, but they were looking to break that mold of what feminine energy had been defined through my ancestors in this role that we were supposed to play. So it's an interesting journey, isn't it? Roots do run deep. Oh, thank you, Melanie. I appreciate you saying that, because there's that little voice in the back of my head that I'm the heretic. So thank you. I'm glad that you're learning some things here. I'm so grateful that you come here and share your energy with me. I love you all so much. Thank you for saying that, Candy, because for many years I have not had a welcomed and safe space to explore my authentic identity and my spirituality, and so that was a big goal in starting this channel. So I appreciate you very much. We are all heretics here, Jimmy. We're all heretics. That's right. Oh, I love you all so much. And thank you for all the things that you do. Just even coming here and sharing your energy. I'm so grateful for you and grateful for this space. And thank you for everyone who had the ability to spread me a little holiday cheer. Thank you. I'm so grateful that we have all these cool new decks. This past month, I've never had so many tarot decks before at once. I'm so excited. And, this is all breaking ancestral curse stuff, right? For those of you that hang out on the lives and hear a little bit more about my background, This was a no-no in a lot of ways. And especially some of this around the pagan and the voodoo and yeah, Dark Star. I resonate with both because of my maternal and my paternal side. My paternal side is very, comes more from the Wiccan pagan culture. And my maternal side is more of the Santeria and voodoo culture. And I honor my ancestors on both sides. I'm grateful that they share their wisdom with me. And love the big melting pot. Okay, y'all. I'm going to say good night to you. You're so welcome, being an atheist. I'm so grateful that you're here with us. I don't think I've seen you on a live before. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Yeah, Rose. I dig that too. Man, I'm all about that Christ consciousness. How do I hear them, Bink? So I'm a visual channeler. I'm a visual and audible channeler. So if you're diving into your five senses, it's different for everyone. And when I say I'm a visual channeler, like I know mediums and channelers that see stuff outside of them. I sometimes see stuff outside of them, certain spirits that are really strong, I see outside of them, but it's mostly like it's mostly these like flashes of mental pictures that come down through my crown chakra. And I'm also audible. I'm an audible channeler too. But there are people that channel through smell, taste, hearing, visuals. It's the I believe the most solid way to find that information is diving into your creative expression. So in your creativity, and are you a very visual person? Are you an audible person? Are you a what's that word I'm looking for, Jimmy? Sorry, I did a lot of privates today. My brain's starting to get a little fried. God, what's that word? I want to say textile or technical, or what is the word for that style of learning? Yeah, I mean, there's all the clairs, but there are people too that think people that need to touch things, people that have very mechanical brains that need to see things, break down things, like they have to hold something. What is your learning style and what are your strongest senses? Tactile. Thank you, Apex. I don't know. I couldn't get to that word. My brain's starting to get a little fried. I couldn't get to it. Are you visual? Are you tactile? Are you audible in your learning? And what senses are strongest for you? And ask Spirit to show you, to communicate with you through those ways. There's a reason why those are stronger for you. And a lot of times it matches up. I'm a very visual person in all aspects of my life. Apex, that's cool. That's really cool. Because that's not one of my, I always admire that, right? And like I admire people with like a lot of air energy because I have like no air energy. So I'm like, wow. I'm just always fascinated by people that think differently than I do. I'm like, how do you do that? Oh, forced meditation is hard for me. There are so many clairs. I try not to use a lot of that terminology because it gets a little confusing. It can get a little confusing. All right, y'all. I'm going to sign off. It's the end of my day. I'm going to end the stream, but the chat will stay open for a few minutes because it looks like y'all are answering some of each other's questions. So forced meditation does sound a little bit like a conundrum. I don't like sitting still though, so I have to have forms of moving meditation. Oh, I love you all so much. It's so good to hang out with you tonight. Take care.